All right. Welcome back. Let's have some fun. All right, what's going on? What's going on? Please help us share this. As you're coming in, let's have some fun today. I think I may have a few updates. Let's see here. Um, awesome, awesome. All right, so let's get started. If you're brand new here, welcome, welcome. My name is Ola. I'm the creator of myEmpirePRO.com, the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do our live data analysis and stuff like that today. Today's the county of the day is, let's see here. So generally, I go for counties that are less than 1 million in population. Okay, anything above that is it's a highly competitive market. Doesn't mean you can't make money there. It just means it's highly competitive. So I like to have space when I'm doing my business. So I typically keep it under 1 million. Also, by the way, this is all about virtual wholesaling, real estate investing. So because of that, I'm very familiar with the five surrounding counties around me here in New Jersey. So, and they're all like under 1 million in population. So the highest populated county around here is Bergen County, right next to New York City. Is 925,000 people. So I like to keep it under 1 million people. All right. So with that being said, we're gonna have some fun today, like I was saying. But I just wanted to make sure if you're brand new here, please, as a culture here, just help us share this. It's called D2D Nation. You can use hashtag D2D Nation. My goal is really to share as much value as I can. Honestly, I will get mine. Okay. My goal is, so if you have any questions as we're going along, drop your questions in the comment area, in the in the uh, in the chat area. I will check that, and I will answer your questions. But if you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know. Let's Yeah, if you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know that you can hear me. If you're having trouble hearing me, also let me know in the chat area. Couple of things here. Let's see. Okay, so I've been on a few meetings with some savvy investors and stuff like that, just trying to get a feel of what this market feels like. We have to keep talking about the market. We still don't have any idea of where the direction of the market is going. What you're gonna see for the most part when people post on the groups are obviously the highlights. A few people are still closing deals, which is good. But keep in mind that the deals that are closing right now are deals that were in the pipeline for the most part. And a lot of those people, if they were to be picking up a new deal right now, they will probably like reassess things and make sure that it's something that they want to do. All right. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to don't don't fall for any kind of gimmicky hypey thing. You can still make a lot of money, but I want you to kind of like pay attention to the lessons you can learn during this time and period. During this period, this uncertain time, this is the time that the next batch of millionaires will be made. Okay, it's in the middle of crisis that opportunities present itself. It's in the middle of crisis that or problem solving that opportunities present itself. So you have to keep your eyes open. But I would just tell you, just focus on problem solving. This over the next several months, many people will have to get rid of their properties. Okay, so that's one side of the game, which is acquisition, right? Locking a property under contract, right? That's going to be the easiest thing to do over the next several months because many people, because they lost their jobs, will need to get rid of situations. Okay, but also keep in mind that on the buyer end of things, some of the existing buyers in the marketplace will basically hibernate because they're humans like everybody else, and they want to protect their cash and they want to make sure they stay in the game, right? So don't be surprised if somebody says, no, 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 I'm not buying that. Somebody says, no, 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 prices are less. So you want to make sure when you're doing your ARVs after repair value, you want to adjust for 5%, at least 5%. Okay. That way you're not surprised when your buyer says, well, it's too expensive, right? Because again, it's not just the buyer, it's not just individuals, even the institutions like the banks are all skeptical about the value of anything luxury right now. So this is where you can come where I will tell you the truth about that. Okay. So just wanted to make sure you understand that and you're well prepared for that. What else do we have going on that I wanted to make sure I update you on? If you're looking for if you're looking for an opportunity to get into rehab, this may be a good time. Like you want to do your own rehabs, you want to do your own deals and do your own, you know, you should always have that as a backup anyway. And no, I'm not saying you have to have your own cash, you have to have your own capital. No, you don't have to. You just have to be willing to get in the trenches. You want to be willing to take up a partner and partner up and do some rehab deals on your own. You should always go with that anyway. You should, even if you're doing strictly wholesaling and you always lead with wholesaling, you should always be prepared that if a deal looks good to you, you're willing to get a partner and take the project on, and you can play like that, like a boss in the game like that. If you should be playing like a boss in the game like that. Of course, your first choice may be, let me just flip it, let me keep it moving, right? But you should have it as a backup that it's okay to find a partner and do a deal. In that case, you will need contractors. You need trustworthy contractors. So I picked some of this up from one of the mastermind webinars that I attended. And one of the best places to find the best contractors is at Home Depot at 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. in the morning. That's some of the best places to find some good contractors, because the ones that you find in the afternoon, the ones that are very quick to answer you, are essentially jobless. They're not busy. And sometimes, not all the time, sometimes that also means that they are, they are not the best contractors in the market. So just keep that in mind. Okay. All right. So let me see here. There's a note here that says, like the deal, want the deal, and can't finance. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people that actually like a deal. They want the deal, but they're not able to finance it. Okay. There are many people that got into the game years ago, 15 years ago when I first started, that made a lot of money, then they have some good, decent amount of money. I'm talking about people that have 500, $600,000, $700,000, $2 million in the savings, and they decided they wanted to start financing their own deals. One of the mentors that I really, really pay attention to in the marketplace is a guy. It's a guy that I bought this course back in 2005 for the rehabbing part of the business. His name is Glenn Galucci. Okay. And so I listen to him from time to time, and I pay attention to what he says from a standpoint of experience. I listen to him, and he basically said what I've been saying all the while: leverage is king. Okay, leverage is always going to be needed, meaning you need institution money, no matter how rich you are. Again, like I said, some of those guys took their money, started investing, but if you take just 50% of all your cash and you invest into the marketplace, you start doing your own rehabs with your own cash, just one stupid mistake can wipe you out completely. So it's never advisable. If you have the choices of using other people's money, you should always use other people's money. Essentially, you get to spread the risk across multiple entities. It's always the best way to do it. Okay. All right. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on, I think I touched on it a few days ago, is in these times, how you track your activities in the game is very important. And this, I mentioned it shortly, but I want to repeat it because I think it's worth it. Key performance indicators in your business is really your input into the game. Okay, because it's a leading indicator. You may not close the deal for the next 3 months, but your activities right now, your input into the game right now is what counts. That's what counts. Okay. Um, by the time you wait for 3 months and you look at I haven't closed any deal, it's too late, and that number is probably inaccurate. Okay. In other words, you're probably very close to a deal, but you're looking at the last 3 months and you're like, this is not working. What you should be tracking is your input into the game. Like, for example, today, as I'm about to show, how many people have you reached out to? How many mailings have you sent? How many SMS messages have you sent? How many RVMs have you dropped? Those are your leading indicators. Those are the things you should pay attention to. Everything else, like for example, how many deals you close, is a lagging indicator. It doesn't show. All right. It doesn't show until later. All right. So now, with that being said, I think I should do a quick a very quick I think I should do a very quick story time. Okay. I started back in 2005, right? And one of the things I noticed is that, yes, I didn't close a deal for the first 1 year. I bought the first course for $3,000 in 2004. I didn't close a deal until 2005 December. But for the next 4 to 5 months after that, I started closing deals back to back to back to back. Now, it was very possible that I could have quit. Now, I was lucky. I wasn't one of the lucky guys, okay? In terms of my love for real estate, I'm a little bit obsessed with real estate. And I don't know which one wins. Maybe it's marketing or real estate, one of those two. I'm obsessed with both, you know? But that's really what kept me in the game, because I can't imagine somebody who came into this just because of money. In that 1 year, they would have quit on themselves. But if I had quit, let's say I quit in November 2004, just before I closed that $10,000 deal in December, right? Maybe I wouldn't be in the game right now. Maybe I would have gone back to pick up my, dust off my computer engineering certificate and find a $40,000 job. And I would be 15 years deep into right now, into my 40 years career, starting with $40,000 a year. You know, you may look at this and say, what? Yes, it's real. A lot of people get stuck like that. But even if I'm not making money right now, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. But also, it's very important because I believe in what Grant Cardone says, that you don't have to love what you do. But I believe it's easier when you love what you do, right? It makes it a lot more easier. And life is already as hard as it gets. So, with that being said, just wanted to make sure I do a quick story time before we dive in. The point of that story is this, okay? Don't quit on yourself, okay? This times right now, if it feels hard right now, that's the more reason why you have to stay in the game, okay? You have to stay in the game. That's the really the moral of the story right there. All right. With that being said, we're about to get started. Before you leave this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. All right, because I'm about to dive in. And this tool that I use, you can try it out for 7 days, okay, for free. I'm about to dive in. I'll show you how I use it. The county of the day, like I was saying, let's see here. The county of the day. Let's see. What is the county of the day? I think I said it earlier, right? No, I didn't. I didn't. Okay. So the county of the day is Westchester, New York. Okay. It's a highly populated area, but not as popular as Los Angeles, California, not as popular as Cook County in Chicago. No, you could work in all those areas. Just understand that there's competition. Okay, so I go down a little bit to a little bit under a million. So we can go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Wisconsin, or Westchester, New York. I think we should go to Westchester, New York, right? All right. So let's do that. That will be the county for the day. I'm going to share my screen right now, and we're going to dive right into data. Now, what do I mean by data? From data to deals, there are 4 stages. It's very important that I keep that clean and I tell you what it means when I say data analysis, when I say from data to deals. You go from data to contact to leads and then to deals. Okay. So if you don't have the problem of you can't say I haven't closed my first deal. You can't really say that unless you can tell me how much data you collect every day, how many contacts you're making on a daily basis, how many leads are you generating on a weekly basis, right? And how many what else? Once you those first 3 stages before you can tell me, hey, I haven't closed any deal. If you tell me I haven't closed any deal, I'm going to ask you those 3 questions, data, contact, leads, and then you can maybe rightfully say, yeah, I've been doing that for so long. I've generated about I've spoken to about 50 leads, but this is then I'll be able to not tell you to quit, but I'll tell you, let's see how you're having the conversations. Let's see what kind of conversations you're having. Let's see, we can troubleshoot where you're having problems essentially. Okay. So that's what that is. All right. So now with that being said, let me see. Did I cover all the news? Yeah, I mentioned the factor at least 5% into your ARVs. Don't push the top comparables, okay? Because your buyers are going to send you back to your sellers if you're doing that, okay? Be patient. What you want to make sure you're talking to people, okay? All right. And there's this one more tip. It says when you're dealing with contractors, right? There's one more tip that I got from these guys. These guys are rehabbers. I do rehabs, but that's not mainly what I do. Okay. So always ask your contractors what else is not included. That way you make sure you don't get in trouble with any of the projects. Okay. And then they'll tell you then you can also do a reassessment of where you are. All right, so let's go to Westchester, New York. This is how it's spelled, right? Westchester. Always make sure you put county because we go from the county level. I don't do like towns. I go from the county level, and the topmost you can go to is county level. So the state does not store the records of the properties. Okay, so Westchester County, when you put county to come up like that, you want to click on that. Okay, and let's play around with this market today and see what we're dealing with. It's 259,000 properties on record. All right. Um, from the left to the right, MLS listed with an agent, pre-foreclosures, meaning they stop payment on their mortgages, right? So they're heading towards pre-foreclosure. Auction, They've taken that a step further, meaning the county has already scheduled a foreclosure auction. Okay. 101 foreclosures, meaning foreclosed on. Okay. These are the records in the system right now. Okay. 19,000 cash buyers. I like that. Okay. Liens, I like that number as well. Vacant properties, 13,000. I like that numbers. I just, when I see that, I just see opportunities everywhere. Opportunities everywhere. If I look at this data and some of these are showing zero, I am in the wrong county. Okay. We're humans. People slip, people make mistakes, people have financial issues. People not only have financial issues, sometimes it's not really a financial issues. They're moving on to a different location and they are letting go of some properties. And some of them will fall on the sidelines. They're letting go to the bank, whatever, right? So that's that. All right. So the first thing I always do, I tackle pre-foreclosures. That's my, not because it's better, okay, but it's better for me. Okay, this is just where I thrive. This is where I started. My mentor, my first mentor, Anthony, he was the first person that paid attention to what I was doing very closely, and I had paid $3,000 for a course. Before that $3,000, by the way, there was a $200 weekend that upsold me on that, and there was also a $300 course on short sales that I purchased from a gentleman called Douglas. Richard Douglas. He was known as the short sale king back then in 2005, early 2005, and yeah, I paid $300 for his course. And I'm going to tell you that story later. Richard is a good guy after the fact, but we bumped head a little bit earlier on. If I meet him today, I haven't seen him in a long time. I bet he would not remember, but I'll tell you that story another time. Okay, let's just dive into what we're doing. So basically, I guess I was lucky. Pre-foreclosure is what I came into at that time. Now, pre-foreclosures today is a little bit different. Okay, it's different. Why? Because thanks to YouTube, everybody kind of knows what's going on. Everybody wants to be a part of it, right? Wants to be a part of real estate investing. So because it's such a public list, is the biggest public list, right? That's available for everyone who wants to partake in real estate investing. There's also high competition of people that are trying to get attention of the people in pre-foreclosures. Okay, so it's not just people trying to invest in real estate. It's also lawyers, attorneys, bankruptcy lawyers, people just trying to get business, right? So your letters, if you send letters, which is what I used to do a lot, if you send letters to this whole list, your letter is going to show up with everybody else's letter. So there's a higher competition. So think about it. If there's more letters, if there was 10 letters that show up in the mail, all saying the same thing, right? Or if there was 2 letters, do you think your money will go further with 2 letters or 10 letters? Just think about it for a second, right? Oversupply of the same offer declines, devalues, right? Devalues the offer, right? Oversupply, just demand and supply. It's just very simple demand and supply, right? If you have 10 letters, suddenly the value of the offers in the letters are declined. All right. So that's very important to pay attention to. So I'm not just gonna use my money 50 cents a pop to send letters or call, because if I call, it's actually worse because that's my personal time. I'm cold calling these people. I don't want to cold call everyone, okay, on that list. So I need to filter the list down, okay? Auctions, as far as I'm concerned, pre-foreclosures and auctions are the same thing. The only thing is that a person with a date to auction their property may be a little bit more motivated. Doesn't mean that it's always that way, okay? I've spoken to people with 2 days away from auction and they tell me to go F myself because I'm trying to take advantage of them because it's 2 days away from foreclosure. So that's why you don't want to just take anything as a gospel truth. Okay, it doesn't always work out that way. Basically, you want to make sure that you are doing volume. When you're doing volume, a decent amount of volume, spread over time, spread across your personal budget. Okay, so yesterday, like for example, I talked about yesterday, I only had $100 for a month. That was the plan on on yesterday's lecture, right? So today, I know I'm not leading with $100. Maybe I'm willing to spend up to 200 for the month. Maybe it's 300. I don't know, right? But let's look at this county. Let's go backwards, right, and see where we are, right? But again, I'm telling you that you want to make sure that you are stacking potential reasons why this person may want to sell to you at a deep discount. Because that's the whole deal. We're looking for deals at deep discounts. We're looking for wholesale deals, right? So we're not just going to go with one reason. If you go with one reason, then you increase your chances that they're not going to be willing to sell to you. Okay, so that's very very important. So when I click on this, I start with this. I click on that box, right? You can see that this automatically updates, right, to 1920 and all the properties in pre foreclosure, right? But one I don't touch the foreclosures because it's a different ballgame entirely. And I'm going to take this advantage to answer a question that came in yesterday. There's a question that came in yesterday. By the way, if you have a question, drop it in the comment in the chat box. I will answer your question. The question came in last minute as we were getting off, and the question was, what if you wanted to buy, I think, bank-owned properties? So bank-owned properties is another name for foreclosures, okay, meaning the bank already foreclosed, but they owe way too much money, and the bank couldn't get the money that they wanted to take care of the note at the auction. So because of that, the bank took the property back, and then what they do is they reassess the value of the property, and then list it back with an agent, and then they call them real estate owned bank owned real estate, right? They call it REOs, real estate owned by the bank, right? REOs. So sometimes they call them bank owned, but these are essentially foreclosures that have gone through the process all the way through to reevaluating their value and then listing it back on the market. There's another colleague here in New Jersey. His name is Greg. He's a broker who specializes in bank owned properties, and agent's also an investor. So he gets a lot of these deals from the bank, and he was also in that meeting that I was on a few days ago, and he was talking. But essentially, you need relationships with REO agents. Okay, it's better you have relationships with them. And once the property is already listed on the market, it tends to be already too late, and the bank wants a certain amount of money, and you got to wait around. But really, what works out is your relationship. If you buy one successfully, then it gets better. Okay, but you're not dealing with the owners any longer. Okay, you're dealing with a bank, a corporation. They're using a formula. Part of that formula sometimes is time. So if it's just listed yesterday, the bank may not want to entertain your offer that makes sense for you, that will make you profitable. So you just want to wait and call every week. There's a whole formula to that. That's not what we do here. We deal directly with the owners. Okay, so bank owned properties, it's not my forte. Okay, but it's very doable. I know a lot of people that make a lot of money tracking those deals down and doing them, but you have to have a relationship with an agent. That's that. Cash buyers, this is gold, because if you have 19,000 people, it's not all 19,000 people that were active in the last 12 months. So I would like to know how many of these people were active in the last 12 months. But again, I don't have that problem right now, okay? Because remember, I will not have that problem unless I've gone through the first three stages, which is data, right? Data of potentially distressed homeowners, right? And this is also data, but I know it's there. I can always come back here within a few days. I can get a skip traced, the ones that I need, and I can start making a few calls. But I need to have a lead, a solid contract first. Okay. So between a lead and a deal, there's a little bit of something there called a contract, right? That's the contract that will hold your equitable interest in the deal, right? And that's what you're trying to sell to a buyer. So if you don't have that, there's no need to worry about this. Okay. You want to make sure you're dealing with your business on a stage by stage like that. That way you're not overwhelmed with too much information. Right now, if you're getting started, you should be worried about data of potentially distressed homeowners, not addresses. Okay. That's one of the reasons why I laugh at people that drive for dollars. I'm laughing at them because I wish they know better. Okay. And I'm laughing with them. not necessarily at them. Okay, I'm trying to repair my statements right now. I can appreciate somebody driving for dollars because at least they're taking action, right? But the point I'm making here is that that's just data collection. Okay, that's just data collection at the end of the day. All right. So with that being said, let's so again, liens. I'm not just gonna go at liens. Okay, I can if I want to. It's almost the same size as this one. I can if I want to, but I can treat it just like pre-foreclosure. But my base again is pre-foreclosures. But I don't just go after all pre-foreclosure. I have to filter them. I have to make sure they're on other kind of other list here. Okay. Vacant properties, 13,000. Okay. That's also a good one, but it's too. I'm not just going to go after all vacant properties. Okay. Instead of spending all my, let's say I was spending $1 just for the sake of simplicity, right? And I was trying to contact all of these people, right? So, however way I'm contacting them by phone or by mail, right? Let's say it cost me $1 each, right? That will be $13,000 I'll be spending just in this market when I could have just gone here. This is a higher piece of motivation piece right here. I could have gone here and then spread my wings, spread my resources after at least six other markets, right? Pre-foreclosure, somebody that's heading for pre-foreclosure, or the house is just sitting down there vacant. Which one do you think is probably more motivated? Well, we can argue back and forth on which one, okay? But what I'm telling you is that somebody that owes money is clearly distressed about the ownership of the property, okay? And they're about to take the property. Vacant does not necessarily mean that. Vacant sometimes means it's a vacation home, right? Vacant vacation home, right? Sometimes it means, I have too much money. I just wanted to sit down there, right? So I'm not just going to go after all of this. I could go here and then stack it against this. I can do that as well too. High equity meaning I don't know exactly the number that they use here, but I think it means, let me click on it. Let me see. Yeah, it's going to take a minute to load that list because it's a lot. But it basically, okay, so for example, this one, loan balance is zero. Okay, loan balance is zero. Estimated equity is, look at that. So they don't owe any money against this properties, right? Is there a good chance they may want to sell to me? Yes. Okay. Is there a higher chance they will curse me out because I'm trying to steal their property? I think yes, as compared to somebody in pre-foreclosure. Can somebody in pre-foreclosure with no equity still curse me out? Yes. Again, that's why you're dealing with, just deal in volumes. Okay, just deal in volumes. Don't overthink it. Don't over, if you know what I mean. Don't overthink. Just have volume, meaning have more chances that you will hit a deal. That's why I would rather spread across a few markets than put all my money into one place. But I will do another elaborate training later on why it's just better to go with the smaller list and spread across board. It's also because of your budget. No matter how rich you are, you want to make sure that your resources are managed properly. Okay, so if you have $200 to spend on marketing every month, you want to make sure that that's also used properly. Your resource allocation is really, really key in this game. It doesn't matter how rich you are. Once you get to, let's say you're spending $5,000 on marketing every month, right? Even at that, whatever behavior you had at $200 per month is what you're going to use at $5,000. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. You don't want to be overly confident. I was back in 2007, which is why my business got wiped out with the market in 2008. Okay. You want to make sure that you understand simple business concepts like resource allocation. All right. And it's another reason why I would not advise my enemy to drive for dollars. It's not the best resource allocation. You're better off finding a job and then flipping half of your salary into doing this proper way, collecting data and then reaching out and then generating leads at volume, at scale. You're better off that way because it's a resource allocation issue. All right. So with that being said, let's dive into the filter. We're gonna go into Westchester, into pre-foreclosure. After that, I click on filter. Okay, filter. All right here. And here, I'm just going to first of all go with my favorite choices, okay, on each one of this list right here. So this is me stacking against the other list in the system, okay? So owner occupied, I prefer not, okay? If I don't have enough people on my list, I'll come back and change it. Okay. But I prefer that they're not owner occupied because they're less emotionally attached to the property. Okay. A person's home is a person's home. It doesn't matter. Even if the bank already foreclosed on them, if it's their home, they feel like somebody cheated them. And rightfully so, because again, it's a home. Okay. So I'd rather not deal with homes. I deal with properties. The property is not working out for me. I need to get rid of it. Simple, strictly numbers. It allows me, it gives me space to be able to do less selling. Okay. Occupancy status. I'm going to stack it against vacant. Okay. So vacant is another reason why somebody may need to get rid of a property in addition to pre-foreclosure. Remember, it's not just vacant all 13,000. It's basically vacant and pre-foreclosure. Okay. So those are the first two things I do. And we'll go under property characteristics. I only deal with residentials. Okay, my marketing dollars and time only go towards residential. Can I do a deal with commercial? Yeah. Mixed use? Yes. I just don't spend my resources towards, this is resource allocation. Keep that in mind. Okay. That's probably the phrase of the day. Resource allocation. Okay. So my resources are limited. I want to make sure they are acting like they're unlimited. So residential. Okay. If I need a bigger market, I'll go into another market. Residential and property types. I only deal with single, multifamily 2 to 4. I do not like condos. It's always a headache for me. Every time I'm prospecting somebody with a condo, it's just an unnecessary headache conversation. They always think that their property is worth twice what it's actually worth. I can't. Okay. Again, resource allocation. If I have to, I would prospect and I talk to somebody and see if they're motivated, but I don't want to use my marketing dollars or time for that. Okay. So that's that. All right. So now we've gotten to the first 3 criteria here. Let's see. The list is already reduced down to 39. Okay. The list is already reduced down to 39. If my budget, if this is for the next 1 month, right, and I have a budget of 39 mil pieces of mail, let's Google this. Send 39 letters. USPS. Let's just go to USPS. I just wanted to see how much they cost on the regular market. Okay. Now you may say, do I only do direct mailing? No, I do four different touches. Okay. 3 of those will be either SMS or RVM. Okay. To pick their interest, and maybe a 4th one. One of them will be a postcard, because I like the idea of somebody holding onto a postcard and potentially, potentially calling me later down the line because they're not ready. They're not sure if they're ready to call me, or they're not sure if they need me. They will keep that. They'll keep the postcard, right? Sometimes they will keep it to give to another friend. Okay, so I like the idea. So postcard stamps here are 35 cents. A regular stamp is 55 cents. Wow. Last time I checked, it was 49 cents. Must be a while back. But you're probably not going to spend that much in this system of if you're using PropStream. Okay. Let me make sure that you can see my full screen here. Let me reduce that banner real quick. Okay, perfect. All right. So inside of PropStream, which is if you want to try it out, it's EmpireBigData.com. It probably will cost you less. Okay. But again, like I said, this is postcard. Let's just assume it's costing me 35 cents to touch these people, right? But I'm going to have to touch them. I want to touch them 4 times minimum. Okay. How much is it going to cost me in terms of dollars? How much is it going to cost me to touch these people each time? 3 times in the next 1 month, right? Because this is going to be my list for the next 1 month. These are my people. How do I know these are my people? This is the county I'm focused on, right? And they're non-owner occupied. They don't live there. They are facing pre-foreclosures. They are also vacant properties, right? Right. So, and I'm going to be tackling all these people now. Not tackling, rather, I'm going to be contacting them, right? So 35 cents, right? Let's just assume it's all postcards, right? And I want to touch them 4 times. You never want to send out a letter once. If you're sending out letter once or you're contacting once, right, you're wasting money. Okay. Okay. I keep saying letter. I should say contact, right? I'm using the more generic. It could be RVM, which is ringless voicemails. Ringless voicemail is basically those messages that you get that all you did was you saw a missed call and the next thing there's a voicemail, right? Yeah, that's a ringless voicemail. And the other one is SMS text messaging, right? I don't know what SMS stands for, but it's regular text messages, right? I actually prefer that better because for me personally, if you leave me a voicemail, I'm probably not going to check for the next 48 hours what's in it, okay? But I check my text messages, okay? Even if I don't respond right away because of protocol, but I know what's going on in case of emergency or anything like that, right? So most people are like that. They check their text messages, right? So just keep that in mind. So let's say it cost me 35 cents per touch, per contact, per touch, right? So each person is going to get 4 touches, right? So 35 cents multiplied by 4, right? Oh, I could just do that on a calculator here on the screen. Let's do that with Google, right? Let's do it on Google. All right, so 35 cents, 0.35 multiplied by 4 times. Multiplied by 4 times, right? Okay, so we have $1.40 per person, right? And we have, remember, I multiplied by 39, right? We have 39 people we're going to reach out to, right? It's all residentials, right? So that's going to cost me $54. Just keep that at the back of your mind, okay? Potentially to make $10,000 from one deal. You could spend $54 for the next 1 month, right? You spend $54 and you hit one of these deals. Somebody calls you back and they say, you know what, I need to get rid of this property. It's a piece of crap. I don't want this property. So what are we dealing with right now, right? So then you just have a conversation. Okay, give me some more information, and you go through your questionnaires. You're consulting. Keep in mind that you're consulting when you're talking to these people, right? You're consulting. You're a consultant. You're not a salesperson. Okay, there's a lot of guruship training out there that makes you feel like you're a salesperson, and then suddenly, when you think of it that way, you feel like, oh my God, I have to sell a person, blah blah blah. I have to, you're not a salesperson. You're a consultant. You are there to solve a problem. So that's why, and that's another reason why I prefer to pick their interest by contacting them first, by sending out a contact. I don't contact with a cold call. Contacting with a cold call, that puts me in a position where I have to sell them on the idea of talking to me first. Okay. How did you get my number? I personally, I just don't like that question. Okay. That question actually pisses me off because it means that I've already put myself in a position where I have to sell myself on this person talking to me. Now, if I have to, I can handle it. How did you get my number? Yeah, I found your number because I'm really interested in your property. Are you open to an offer? It's really that simple. Okay. But in the same token, that's my time that I'm spending cold calling people that most likely are not going to be interested in what I have to offer. Most likely, it doesn't matter how good your list is, most people are not going to be interested in your offer. You're just looking for one out of these 39 over the next month to say yes. Okay, that yes, I'm interested. Now, could you make this a little bit bigger? Could you make this list a little bit bigger? Here's the thing: when I'm looking at this stack, right here on the filter, I'm calling the stack the filter. This stack right here is too mild for me. Okay, it's too mild for me because also I would like to add that I don't want anything on the market. Okay, I don't want to talk to somebody that's listed their property with an agent. I'd rather not. Okay, I don't mind if I have to. That drops my list down to 34. Okay, so there were actually 5 houses that were on this list that were on the market. Now, those 5 people, right? Could they probably have a higher chance of actually selling me a deal? Yes, because at least they've already said they want to sell by listing the house on the market. But again, it's just a matter of choice. Okay, where would I rather spend my money or my time, my resources? It's just a matter of resource allocation. Based on my experience over time, it's better that there are no strings attached. It's better that there are no agents involved before I come in the picture. Just across board, just average across board. Have I dealt with agents before? Yes, it's not just before, all the time. I love agents, but I also love to be in a position where they already feel like I'm bringing value to the table. If I put myself in a position where they feel like I'm stealing from them, it's it's not pretty. Okay. All right. So don't forget, I will, if you have some questions, I will leave a little bit of time to ask questions, to answer questions. So make sure you ask it as early as you can so we don't have to stay over time. Okay. So that's 34. Again, I'm going to go back into the filter. Okay. I'm going to go back in the filter. I want to leave some time to really dig in through the bias list and see what's available just for the sake of it. Okay. All right. So under pre-foreclosures here, I like just notice of default, and I don't mind auctions. I don't want to deal with. I don't mind default releases. Okay, I don't mind that. That means they already released the default, meaning they paid up, right? Because they paid up doesn't necessarily mean that they're still not distressed. They were once upon a time late on their mortgage payments, so it's still worth talking to them. I don't want to deal with bank owned. It's the same thing as foreclosures. I don't want to deal with that. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to deal with that. So keep it that way. So let's see. Okay, that's still the same list, same size of list. So everything looks good over there. Ownership, I like it to be a minimum of 7 years. But this list is already small, so I'm going to relax that to 5 years. Okay. I don't want somebody that bought the property yesterday and is already in pre-foreclosure today. They just have too much drama going on. I'd rather deal with somebody that was in the house for a while. Okay. And include unknown sales dates. I could do that, but but I don't have to. Okay. All right. So that, see, I'm stocking that list just dropped to 28. So how much is it going to cost me for 4 weeks to mail these people? Right. 28 people now. Right. Just for this county. Right. So if I want to deal with just one county and I just want to keep this stock, and this is my stock every month, I just want to do that every month for the next 12 months until I close my first deal. Once I close my first deal, I will step up my budget from $39 per month to, I'll double it up, right? All that means I'm coming back here and I'm going to a second county and I can scale out like that without being desperate. Keep a job. Just do this on the side. Spend your time doing this on the side. Keep a job. Because if you're trying to build this business with a desperate mindset, you will lose. Okay. If you need money as of yesterday, and that's why you want to, like I was saying earlier, if I had done this, it took me 12 months back in 2005 when there was no competition to close my first deal. If I was in the game just because of money, I would have been out, just like 98% of people, even still today, right? Most people try it out, they tried a little bit of something and then they out. Okay. So that's that. So 28 people, I could literally target this 28 people. The next thing is I will select all. Okay. I will add to a list and I can create a new list. I said Chester, Westchester County, New York. Some people say, but New York is crowded. Well, this is Westchester County. It doesn't really matter. Bottom line is that this are actual individuals that are going to distress, and I can help them out. All right. So I'm going to say Westchester, New York, distressed. Just going to save that. Okay. All right. I'm at this point in time, I'm not going to go into the details of each property. It's not necessary. Okay. Unless somebody calls me back, and then I'll go in my list and I'll pull up the details of the property. I don't need to know the details of a property or owner until they respond to me, until stage number 3, data contact leads, until they become a lead, meaning they responded and they're raising up their hand and saying, hey, I'm interested. What do you have to offer? You buy houses? Yes. Do you have a few minutes? Can I ask you 10 questions? I need to know some details about the property. And then I will ask my questions using my questionnaire. It starts with what, this property, use your name. Okay. And you're looking to sell. Why do you want to sell? How soon do you need to sell? I'm on the 4th question already. You know this, right? And then is it late on any payments right now? How much is the mortgage against the property right now? Does he have any septic? Do you have any septics? Do you have any when was the last time the roof was changed? Things like that, right? Is my 10-question questionnaire, basically, that I will ask them. I try to keep it to 10. That's just a magic number. It's not for any reasons, okay? Bottom line is that I have a conversation with that person. But remember, it's easier to have a conversation with them because they reached out to me. My life is a lot more easier. I don't have to worry about all this tactics and all this crazy script, magical script on how to get them to close. No, without closing nothing. I'm not closing unless I'm closing a deal. I don't want to close a person. I want to talk to only people that want to talk to me. That's called attraction marketing. That's the world that we live in today. Okay. So once I just save that list, then you want to go under skip tracing. You want to skip trace, right? Right. If you already skip trace the list, you will go straight to contact, right? So here you can see how much you pay per skip tracing. From one to 500, you're going to spend 25 cents each for emails. If you want all of it, if I were you, I'll keep my list small and I will get every information I can get about anybody, right? Phones and email address, and I'll select contact, right? And then I'll go here under, let's see here, Westchester County, my 28, right? And then I will do done. See, it already has names. I see names, but I'm not going to worry about that. I don't need details. And I'll click done, right? And then I'll just follow through, and there's a way you pay for it. Just follow through the payment. So I'm doing phones and email, that's 30 cents each, right? How much is that going to cost me? 30 cents each, right? So we're just going to call this 65 now. I don't know, just had 30 cents to that. So now my budget is $72. I'll spend $72 over the next month, making sure I contact these people. Again, if you're not going to do multiple touches, as in multiple contact touching those people, you're wasting money and resources. Some people need to see your information a few times before they decide to call you. And the more they see your information, the more everyone else is going to try to do the shortcuts, okay? By sending mailing only once, try it out, see if I hit a jackpot. That's why most people fail. They try something once, a few times, and they quit, right? You want to have a system in place. Your system is yours. You could say your number is 5. You could say instead of 4 times touch, I want to do 5 times touch. You could say 3. Something consistent, but 1 is too small. Just letting you know, 1 is too small. 2 is probably too small too. Make sure you're doing multiple contact. All right, so that's that. We're not going to do bias list today. We're going to leave that till what I want to do is we'll be back here on Monday. Okay. If you're here right now and you're watching this, make sure you give this a thumbs up. If I said anything that made sense so far, please make sure you give this a thumbs up before you leave. The goal today is we're trying to get to 5 thumbs up. Yesterday was 10. We didn't get any close. So we're just getting started. It's okay, whatever. If you're just one person here and you got value out of this, I am happy. Please just give it a thumbs up so we can tell the algorithms that we're trying our best. All right. Now, with that being said, let's see. I don't see any questions. So I'm guessing that we're good to go. Just before you leave, there's a couple of information that you should know. Okay. Couple of information that you should know. Let's see here before you leave. If you're brand new, by the way, make sure you grab the free book. Okay, make sure you go ahead and grab the free book. And this software right here is, you can go to empirebigdata.com. You can try it for free for 7 days. You go sign up for free and try it out for 7 days and start playing around with this. You have access to 160 plus million records of data across the nation, and you can do, because of this tool enough, you can do this business in the United States from anywhere in the world, from the beaches, anywhere. You can do it. This is about virtual wholesaling. At the end of the day, if you find the deals, I got you. We will dispose the deals. You can make 10 grand, 20 grand, $30,000 from one deal. Okay, so it's very simple. Just grab the tool. Now, if you're brand new here, I wanted to make sure that you go to myEmpirePRO.com and go grab this book. I have it there, free PDF for free. Okay, if you're brand new, Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. It's all about data. This chapter 3 is all about data. So I've been saying this since, not just because of the pandemic. I've been saying this since 2018. That's when I published the book. All right. What else do we have here? Dealestimator.com if you need to calculate free calculators on calculating this stuff. Want to make an offer or anything like that. All right. And as I've already said, we have a 11 days challenge. If you want to build a massive list and you want to monetize as you're going, basically you don't want to wait until deals before you make money. If that's what you want, 11 days challenge is a nice resource there for you. And there's a full-blown 3 hours class at myempirepro.com/go virtual. You want to go register for that as well. And we do have a group. If you comment, I will send you. I'll put a link to the group, and so you can go join the group. It's a free private group for us here that we're hanging out here for God knows how long. But this is the fourth episode. I've had fun in 4 episodes, so I am committed. I will keep going. I'll be back here on Monday at 4 p.m. Definitely. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, you'll get notified Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. I have other videos that are going on. Today, I didn't really dive into YouTube, our YouTube analytics. We'll do that another day. We kind of run out of time. Okay, we run out of time. Let's see who. If you're hanging out with me right now, before we leave, can you just type in your name in the chat area? Let me just know. I see that there are maybe 3 people hanging out with me. 3. If you're hanging out with me, type in your name, where you're plugging in from. I'll wait 60 seconds. If it doesn't happen in 60 seconds, I will assume that you're just shy, and that's okay too. But if you want to do that real quickly so I can give you a quick shout out, I would love that. Just comment, and I know you're probably busy doing other things as you're listening. I understand that as well. And then we'll take you from there. Just comment before I leave in 60 seconds. We got about 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds, and then we'll call it a day. Now, if you're watching this as a recording later, please do everything like the thumbs up and all of that good stuff. Please help us out. Help us share the word by simply hitting that thumbnail softly, not too hard. Okay, not too hard. And I will really, really appreciate that. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Hopefully, you've been enlightened. Don't forget to go to myEmpirePRO.com and go grab it for free. If you go there right now, I'll give you real estate money secrets for free as well. All right, hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one. And peace. I'm still on. Thank you, Blue. Talk soon.